Hello. This is actually the third time I'm doing this. Um, the past two were extensively long and detailed, and the third one, my husband popped in and just couldn't. I guess my answer wasn't enough. So, yeah. Anyways, so I'm starting over again. So if I repeat myself, I apologize. I'm trying not to. And this is not my normal do. If you've seen any of my videos, I don't wear teenage hairstyles. I actually have a heat thing going on the back of my neck. It's actually going like up to here in my headline also. So it's kind of itchy. Which happens with the hormone therapy and the heat every summer. I get it. I'm fine during the autumn, spring, and winter. No problems. Also did want to mention that this is a film for women. Older women, young adults, teenagers, something like that. So if you're a man with a penis, just leave it. Go to a different channel, pick a different video, it has nothing to do with you. Sorry for being rude, but I've got some comments lately where, you know, guys are saying, oh my god, I can't believe you said this and this. Well, then you shouldn't watch my video, should you? Not being rude again. I'm just being honest. If you don't like it, watch something else. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube. So this is a short one. I'm going to try to make it short, about PCOS, which actually stands for Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, or my gynecologist, who is old school, he's silver, head to toe, hair silver, he calls it polycystic ovarian disorder, which means the same thing, just two different terms. I think in the past it was called PSOD, but they kind of changed it with more research that they've actually done over the past 10, 15, 20 years. So honestly, this is not a well-known disease. I never heard of it. I know that my family's never heard of it. None of my friends ever heard of any kind of PCOS anything. And it was kind of a shock. I found out 5 years ago. I'm like, what? Like, no freaking way. So I will do a short little tidbit on that, and then I'll start off with the signs and symptoms that I had growing up that you should really pay attention to, or I should have actually told somebody about. But again, as I said, I did find out about 5 years ago. I believe that's correct. And the first thing that, the way that I found out actually was through my gynecologist, because I stopped getting my period sometimes. Or I would skip my period, or I would have pain during sex, which I thought was a normal thing, because that has happened like all throughout my life. I've had pain sometimes with sex, so I just thought it was normal. Hey, Chloe. Oh, sorry, my kitty cat came out. So, oh my goodness, where was I? Oh, 5 years ago, yes. And he actually referred me to a reproductive endocrinologist. See, I can say that word right. I just can't say some of the other words I'm about to say right. And he actually done a lot of blood work. He actually scraped the inside of my uterus, did a pap smear, did a whole shebang. Took blood tests to test my testosterone levels and my estrogen and progesterone levels. See, I will mess up those words in every video I make, so I apologize beforehand. And again, this is kind of graphic. If someone has a squeamish stomach, just kind of turn it to mute. And what I'll do is I'll like raise my hand when I'm finished. So if you want to push mute, go right ahead. I'll give you a second. Okay. So the way that I found out was mainly because of the certain patterns with the hair growth, especially the kangaroo patch I have. That's a big one. The thing that I did not expect to see, which totally scared the heck out of me, was actually my ovaries. During the ultrasound or sonogram, I forgot which one it is. I guess it could be either one. Not really sure. But he actually photographed my ovaries from on top of my stomach and then transvaginally also. So I got like a lot of pictures going on. And I don't want to make somebody upset, and please don't hate me or comment on the way I'm describing this, but it's like your ovaries look like cottage cheese. I am so sorry. I love cottage cheese myself. And when I first saw that, I'm like, oh god, I cannot eat cottage cheese again. So it took me like about a month or two to actually get past the whole image of that stuck in my head. So actually what happens is my reproductive system is not as normal as most women, who actually release an egg and it goes down a tube, down to your uterus with the chance to implant and become pregnant. Most of mine actually get stuck inside the ovary, or they go like outside the wall and they stick there and they turn into cysts. So I guess you can kind of break down the word polycystic ovarian syndrome. The poly means many, cystic means cyst, ovarian means your ovaries. So it kind of says it all by itself. So I'm done with that, if you guys want to watch now. So that was pretty much how I would describe that. Not the best image, and I still get that stuck in my head sometimes, and it totally grosses me out. But that's what it looks like. Hang on one sec. So, let me see. My first symptoms actually started with my first menstrual cycle. I was 11, 12 years old, about like that. And actually, I had no idea what the heck I was getting or what it was. If I remember correctly, I was actually on a vacation in Oklahoma, at my uncle's house. I think I was sleeping on his couch at night for some reason. And I went to go to the bathroom. You know, first thing in the morning, you have to go. And I picked up the sheets, and I just freaked. I started screaming and crying all at the same time. It was everywhere. Not like a normal menstrual cycle. It was like everywhere. Up and down every leg. It was like Carrie, just all over again. Blood all over the place. I'm sorry for that graphic description, but it was terrifying. And my mom, bless her heart, love you mom, but she never talked about the birds and the bees, or how babies are made, or female organs, or male organs, or anything like that. She just wasn't raised that way. So it was a bit different growing up like that. And I think when I finally got my first menstrual cycle, that's when she finally like, oh, so this, you got this, and this, and it was like short and sweet. Basically, you're bleeding now, you're going to bleed for the rest of your life, so expect it every month. And that was it. And I'm like, holy shit. Actually, I do believe I said holy crap, and I got soap in the mouth. But anyways, so that was kind of like, wow. So that was the first thing, was that mine were extremely heavy. I'm sorry, my sinuses are itching. I just want to scratch everywhere. So the first sign was the extremely heavy long periods. Mine lasted between like 6 to 8 days. But compared to my friends, which go, why is my cat in the window? Wow, that's my calico. She's so pretty. But compared to most girls or teenagers or women who go like heavy to light, mine was like just heavy the whole time. So it's like I was freaking Niagara Falls for like 8 days. It didn't stop. I actually hid clothes, extra pads from the counselor, from the gym teacher inside my school locker, just trying to hide the fact that holy crap, there's something wrong with me, because I should not be bleeding this heavy. It's not normal. It did freak me out completely, but again, as I said, I've always tried to be the perfect person, perfect child, perfect student, perfect whatever. And I figured that as being abnormal, so I kept it a secret. I didn't think it would actually hurt anything at that time. So if you fast forward about 2 years, like 13, 14, is actually when I noticed that my hair started to get a bit thinner than it usually was. I would wash it, of course, and then like my hand would have hair front and back all over on the TV. Chloe, what are you doing? I'm sorry for the interruption. She thinks she's a mind of her own, which she does. But so anyways, my hair started to become thinner. I don't think my parents actually noticed because at that time, I was, I believe that was, wow, by the time, like around the time that we moved and started high school, the whole shebang. So of course, the family had like a whole bunch going on, and my hair loss was not actually something that they would notice at the time. So, and the fact that I took care of my own hair also was a big thing also. And this is her hiding spot. She just blends right in, doesn't she? Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I love my cat, but she just does not think straight. So, along with that also was slow hair growth. I know I got at least, I think like 3 or 4 different haircuts during high school. I know I got one during middle school, which is like a pixie cut. Oh my god. I will never forget that. We got these pixie cuts. And, I think it was my brother Jimmy who like totally freaked out and said that girls should have long hair. And really, I agreed with him, but my mom wanted to do it, and I'm like, okay, go right ahead. And yeah, wow. And you got to think, I was a washboard, like nothing at all, chest-wise, with this pixie cut, and wow, it was a little embarrassing to go to school, but anything to make my mom happy, I would do most likely. So that's how my life was, and I enjoyed it. Not that I didn't. Chloe. Okay, sorry about that. Also, so far we got the extremely heavy periods, the hair loss, the hair growth that slowed down. Also, around that time, my periods became extremely painful. I would cramp. I mean, like non-stop cramping. It would feel like, again, if you don't want to hear this, mute for a second, and then I'll raise my hand when I'm done. Okay, so about this time, my pain was so bad that it felt like my spine was being used for a punching bag or practically being pulled out of my back. I got pain in my hips. If I sat down too fast, it would flare up and I'd be like, ah. I tried to keep quiet about it, but it was so hard. The worst one was the abdominal pain. If you have ever had a baby, you know how like your whole stomach cramps from like the ribs down, just whoosh. That's how bad the pain was. I mean, it started from like right about here and just went all the way down my stomach. And there were days where it felt like my insides were actually going to go out of my vagina. So, with that being said, I'm done with that topic. It's no more grossness. Okay. That's pretty much how that felt. So again, that was kind of graphic to some people, so I do want to give like a little heads up just in case you have a squeamish stomach. You don't want to hear it, just push mute. That's why the hand goes up or down. So again, I kept that a secret. I began popping Advil like Tic Tacs, and it just was not working. And I am sorry, but my cat is really distracting me. Your tail is clean. Stop. So, let me see. So far we got the heavy periods, hair loss, slow growth, extreme pain, which is that puts me at about 14 years old. I'd say about 16, close to 17, I actually noticed excess hair growth, more of a male pattern hair growth. I actually began growing hair on my, like, not the whole mustache, but like I began to grow hair like right around the nose, like right there, which I would just shave off the best that I could and use concealer with my makeup so you can't actually see the stubble. And I actually took razors to school, so I would like shave at night, shave in the morning, shave in the afternoon, so you wouldn't actually notice. Also, I got a happy trail. I'm sorry I laughed. Usually that's the term for men. Wow. I'm not gonna explain it. It's pretty much self-explanatory. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that. But I got this hair growth that started again, like right above my hair, and it went all the way down my stomach, like wrapped around my belly button, down to my pubic area. So now you might figure out the happy trail meaning. Yeah. And again, being the perfect child, I wanted to hide it because I didn't want to be unperfect. So I started to shave it. At the time, I thought it was a great idea because I would shave it and it was thin enough that you couldn't actually see it. So being in Florida, you go to the beach constantly or the parks and stuff like that, and you're like constantly in a bikini, so I was constantly shaving it. Wow. So besides the fact that I'm shaving the dark hairs, the hairs around it, like the peach fuzz hairs and the white ones, also became more darker as I shaved more. I mean, honestly, who would have thought that? I'm sorry. So eventually it got thicker, more dense. The hair became thicker and coarse, and it actually spread out further also. So instead of just like one skinny line, it kind of like branched out and became thicker. Now, at this age, it is pretty much, this is embarrassing. Right now, the age that I am, see my little kangaroo pouch, PCOS. My hair on my belly is actually from like side to side. It goes all over. Again, with the main part being the happy trail in the middle is the thickest, the coarsest hair. Then as you go out towards your sides, it's more thin. Then on my sides, it's like peach fuzzy. I try not to tweeze, wax, or shave the peach fuzzy part. I don't want it to actually turn black yet. I'm still in my 30s, people. Crap. This is, oh my goodness. So, back being a teenager, shaving was not a good idea. That was the worst thing ever. I did start to wear one-piece suits at about age 18. Just to hide it, I guess you could say. So, hang on a second. Cotton mouth. Boy. I'm sorry about that, you guys. So, believe it or not, I did not have sex during high school at all. I think I had like 2 boyfriends. That was it. I really was not into the whole dating thing in high school. In high school, I was more into doing extra credit, extra classes. By the time I was a senior, I was actually in high school and college at the same time. I really wish I would have stuck with that, but as you'll find out, I didn't. I actually dropped out of high school, got my GED about like a month or 2 later, and dropped out of college. Yeah, and all because I was very naive. I was not exposed to the world the way that some children are. I was actually sheltered my whole life, which I appreciate that very much. I did, but I kind of got caught up in life itself, and I just got swept away with it. And his family basically convinced me that, you know what, you don't have to go to high school. You can just get your GED and drop out of college, and you don't have to worry about that. You can just work in a grocery store for the rest of your life and live happy. So, ouch, a little bit of hate there. I'm sorry. So that's what I done. I did believe him and his mom and his dad and all that stuff. So of course the first time that I did have sex, it hurt. Not sure if it's that way for everybody. For me it did. But the big concern was that it hurt every time I had sex. And I do mean every time. So that actually led me to seeing a OBGYN for the actual first time on my own, I think. Stop. Don't give me that look. Oh wait, talking to the cat, not you guys. So again, they first time, yes, they done the blood work to test my hormone levels. Also done a pap smear, and I think that was about it for the first time. Not that detailed, not that into it. Just trying to figure out where the pain's coming from. I do believe they'd done the ultrasound sonogram thing, but it wasn't that detailed. And back then, you gotta think that you really you couldn't see what you see now compared to talk about medical advances in technology. Wow. So it was definitely different back then. But so I came up clear for everything except my testosterone levels were just a little bit elevated. Again, she said no big concern. So I'm like, okay, no big concern. I'm just a little different.
We ain't having that all day today.
My husband's nephew. Anyways, so after that, I'm like, okay, this ain't so bad. I just got a little bit of a problem. And again, it kind of brought me back to being a teenager. So along with the raging hormones of just being a teenager, I also had the extra testosterone, which added to the raging hormones, which added to more trouble at school, but not at home. At home, I was the perfect child. At school, I kind of got away with stuff. I don't know if I said this, and oh God, if I feel embarrassed saying it. I hope I didn't say it already. I actually learned to sign my mom's name, which is not that hard. Sorry, Mom. Ouch. Yeah. But, so I got a lot of ISS, which is in-school suspension, from about 15 to like 18. So, of course, I go to the office and see the principal or the vice principal, and they would send a slip home to my parents. I would sign it, go back to school with it, stay in my detention class all day, and be fine. It wasn't until high school that I got a couple of OSS slips, which is out of school suspension, that those I actually had to bring home. Yeah, I couldn't exactly sign those, sorry. So those they found out about. The in-school suspensions, I don't think you guys knew about that, so I'm sorry. Anyways, so I kind of figured that out after I saw the OBGYN. Like, holy crap, I've had this problem for this long, and I've been so busy trying to hide it and be perfect that I've actually could have been harming myself. Kind of sucks, right? So, yeah. So after that, I think I was with them for like 6 months, and it just didn't work out. I'm not going to go into details about that. You don't need to know that. Over the next couple of years, I had 2 different boyfriends. And you get in most relationships, like, you start out with condoms, and like you're trying to test the waters and all that stuff, and then after a while, you don't use them sometimes. And with me, it's like we just didn't use them at all, because I just wasn't getting pregnant. I know 2 times I had these like extremely painful, crampy periods. Again, I'm gonna go into detail. If you don't want to hear this, just wait till my hand goes up again, and then you can push the mute button, or the unmute, I'm sorry. So if you don't want to hear this, just push mute. It's not pretty. Um, okay, so the first one actually, I was about 5 days late for my menstrual cycle, and I got this pain from like the top of my ribs down to the bottom, and like my whole abdomen was cramping. I felt dizzy. I was like, could not hold down food. It just felt awful. And I actually thought it was a period, but just like a really bad one, because I wasn't sure how this worked. And what happened is that I passed like big clots of tissue and blood and stuff mixed up in there. The best way to describe it. That's what it, in the toilet. That's what it looked like a big bloody mess with some stuff in it, but you don't know what it is. The second one was more intense. I was actually about 2 weeks late for my cycle, which again I'm thinking, okay, this is normal, which was normal because there were months where I would like not have my cycle. Then there were months where it came on extra heavy, so I was constantly switching. The second one was more painful, and it was like one big blob. This blob just came out like at one time. Like I could feel a pressure, like it kind of felt like it just like a big pressure, and it started at my believe like right below the belly button. I'm like, this is not my period, there's something wrong with this. And I actually did go to the hospital for that one because I'm like, there's something wrong. And what happened at the hospital is because it was like just slowly starting to actually go down my stomach, that crampy, pushy feeling. And I'm sorry this is a little hard to talk about. And it got to like about where my bladder feels like I have to go pee. I'm like, okay, so I have to pee. So I actually got out of bed, which was not what I wasn't supposed to do that. Because the doctor wasn't quite sure what the heck was going on. And I did pee a little bit, but then like I stopped because I got this like, it kind of felt like a cramping, exploding pressure. I don't exactly know how to describe it. But then like I kind of heard this like splashing noise, with a couple of other splashes followed behind it. So it was actually like a blob that had just fell out, followed though by extra clumps of tissue and stuff, and then I began bleeding. By the time I got back to the bed, there was blood going down both my legs. And you know, I'm like freaking out. I pushed the button, called the nurse, that kind of stuff. And I told them what happened, and they actually, you know, you just had a miscarriage. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I didn't even know I was pregnant. So, anyways, I'm done with that. So, okay, so after that, I kind of described what had actually happened before, and the doctor actually confirmed it, like right then and there, like, yes, you did have another miscarriage, and that was also a miscarriage from the description I gave. So that was kind of heartbreaking. So he actually referred me to a gynecologist. I forgot what town I was in. I know it was far away because I actually asked for it. Because at the time I was living in Brentwood, New York. I think it was like in Montauk or something like that, or Patchogue. I forgot which one it was. And I actually kind of snuck there to go see a doctor. And of course she done some more tests, blood work, of course, more ultrasounds or sonograms, whichever word you use. She did the pap smear, but like not the scraping. Because I saw her like 2 weeks after the miscarriage. And she took a lot of pictures, which actually kind of hurt. And didn't feel good. And basically she told me that my testosterone was more actually elevated than my estrogen or my progesterone. And if I sound kind of depressed, it's because I just talked about the miscarriages. So I'll get over it in a little bit. It does hurt talking about it. So basically the way that she described it was she couldn't place what it was coming from or why it was happening to me, which again stuns me because it's been around for so long that you think your OBGYN would actually know what signs to look for to actually, oh my gosh, you have PCOS. She didn't do that. She just basically said that, well, because you had multiple miscarriages, basically I will not be able to carry a child to full term. Totally fucked with my head. I'm sorry for cursing. So after that, I took a dark path. A lot of drugs, a lot of drinking. I'm like, hey, I can't have kids. My life is ruined. Pretty much how I felt. And I stayed on that path for quite a while. I don't think my family even knows why I'd done it, but now you kind of do. It devastated me. I mean, I was in my 20s. I'm like, you're being told that you can't have kids ever. I'm like, holy crap, what? The first thing that pops into my head is that, oh my god, I wanted to be a mom. What am I supposed to do with the rest of my life? And I just started drinking and doing whatever I could get my hands on, which of course compounded the problem with the PCOS and just actually made it worse. Especially with the weight gain going up or going down, it would actually mess with my menstrual cycles to where I would skip it for like a month or two, then I get it heavy, or it'd be like a spotting for like 2 days and then I'd be done. So they were never actually on time or on schedule. They were never normal. After about the age 20, they were completely erratic. So yeah, my second boyfriend that I had, also on the East Coast, did not use condoms. So I'm like, I can't get pregnant. Not gonna happen. So what's the point of using them? But I actually did get pregnant. What happened was I took a trip to Colorado, and I went to see my sisters. I went to see my sis give birth to my niece, which is awesome. I love the medical field, like every aspect of it. So I was like the worst partner to have there to keep the person calm. Because I'm like, sis, you okay? You good? Okay, wow, what the hell is going on over there? And I think I was more focused on the C-section itself and not on her. So I'd be like, you okay? You good? Great. And I'm like, oh my god. And I think I was kind of freaking her out, and then she got nervous because I'm like, I can't believe that's coming out like that. I was not the best partner, I'm sorry, but it was just amazing to see life be brought out that way. It was like, holy cow. And it comes out of this tiny little incision and they just like stretch it open. And I'm like, holy crap. So anyways, came back, got pregnant, and it was about a month after that, I missed my menstrual cycle. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? My chest was sore. I'm like, there's no way I'm pregnant. This can't be happening. And actually, I was pregnant. I took a test. Actually, my friend snuck it in at a AA meeting. Thank you, babe. And you hate me right now. I love you. I love you.
I love you, God.
Where was I? Interrupted. Hang on. Pregnant. Okay. She actually took me to the store. We kind of snuck it around. Took it home. I think I waited like half a week to take it. I'm like, there's no way I'm pregnant. I'm not going to take this test. I did take it. And the first words out of I mean, just holy shit. That's the first thing I said. Not, oh my goodness, I'm pregnant, or oh god, just holy shit. Like, there's no way I'm pregnant. So, I was extremely happy. I'm like, oh my god, I'm pregnant. Can I keep this one? And then I was completely terrified. Because at the time, I was actually clean and sober. Thank you. And the person I was with was still drinking, still doing drugs, still hanging out at the bar, still doing who knows what, but God knows what. I'm thinking, how the heck can I raise a kid in this type of environment? I think that was the holy shit reaction. So I was very happy. But anyways, I did keep one child to full term, which is the one that I gave up for adoption. So sorry to say that. So basically, that's pretty much how it's been so far. And I found out 5 years ago that I have PCOS. So to actually conceive, the first process would be a IUD. No, not IUD. Oh my goodness. Would be a IUI, I believe it's called, a interuterine inception. God, I hate these words. And basically, if you need a description, it's where your partner or spouse or donor, if you choose a donor, their sperm, semen goes into this little squirter thing. Best way to describe it. And they actually stick you in a chair that like tilts up so that your butt's in the air, and they actually expand your cervix, squirt it in there, along with the egg that hopefully popped out. They stick you on, I forgot what it's called, cannot remember, but it's actually supposed to make you ovulate, like really heavy. So yeah, I did not choose that process. No, thank you. Not yet anyways. I might choose to have kids later, I have no idea. I'm still young, so I'm still thinking about it. But the way that the doctor was describing it, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna basically be like a Thanksgiving Day turkey, pumped up on hormones and ovulation pills. This is great. So it felt kind of weird. It sounded kind of weird. I didn't want to do it. I actually did have surgery, which I will show those pictures in another film. Those, I will admit right now, are not going to be pretty. That they may actually make you squeamish to your stomach, which I will probably stick a warning in the title. You know, don't watch if you got a squeamish stomach. I gotta come up with some kind of warning, just so that people with the weak stomach don't get sick by watching my films, because I wouldn't want that to happen. But since then, I have, as you know from other videos, I've been on psychiatric meds for, well, been trying to find the right one for about 10, 11, 12 years now, with no luck. Within the past years, I gained about 100 pounds. I actually weighed myself today, and I'm down to like 280, 281. I know you're like, oh my god, that's huge, but to me, I'm like, no, it's not, because I was like 298. So big hand for me. But the whole thing with that is that it stops your cycles, your menstrual cycles, because of the weight change, and the testosterone soars, the female hormones plummet, and you have no menstrual cycle. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm on hormone therapy. Instead of taking it every month, just because of the weight gain, because I'm so close. Actually, I am considered severely obese. I hate using the term. But because of that, my doctor will not stick me on them every month, just because he doesn't want it to affect my heart. Which it does do that in a way. You know, the heart, I think it's blood clots, strokes, and heart attacks that can actually happen with all these extra hormones pumping through you. So instead of every month, I do it every 3 months. So I done it in June. I took the hormones. I got a period. A menstrual cycle. Did not get one in July though. So right now my body is pretty much dependent on the hormones to even get a period. So it's kind of icky. Yeah. Along with that, there's other things that it does to your body internally, which I will do a separate video because I don't want to be on here too much longer. But it basically, it is terrible. It destroys your body on the inside, and there's like nothing that you can do about it, except try to stay skinny, which is impossible. I know there's I've had friends who have been big and like they like struggle to lose weight, but they do lose it, slowly but surely. With PCOS, it's like you struggle to lose weight, you cut back on carbs and fatty foods, and you basically change your whole diet, you change your whole lifestyle, you change your whole exercise stuff, and you just cannot, you lose the weight, but then it comes like right back on. Even if you slow down for like a week or two, poof, it just comes right back. So it's kind of like a daily thing that you have to do, which I have not been doing because of my knee, that I've mentioned, is totally shot right now. So if I go anywhere, it's by car or truck or whatever you want to call it. That sucks. It really does. But at least I'm down at 280. So, before I started 2 years ago, I was about 215, 220. I know it's still kind of heavy, but I was actually getting my cycles, not every month, but my body was actually doing it on its own. So I'm hoping I can lose like another 60 pounds and hopefully get off the hormones until I get older, after menopause, older, when you need them for the hot flashes and stuff, like in your 50s or 60s, because I'm in my 30s and I don't think I should need them, but I don't want all that to build up inside and actually lead to endometriosis, which could actually happen, especially with this. But again, I'm not going to get into the medical stuff before I get too carried away. To end this video, these are not graphic pictures, it's just pictures of stuff that I think might actually help. I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah, you can see it. Right here, and like down around there, I got hair. I hope you can see. Okay. I know it's not the best shot. This camera, for some reason, is a little fuzzy. Myself, just hang on 1 second. I actually did take a few pictures, just to show you what it looks like. So, I can see why my husband would be a little bit embarrassed to be seen in public sometimes. Okay, so this is actually a profile of my left side. I know in the film it's my right side, but it's my left side. And this is what it looks like. There we go. That's all the hair that goes down my neck. And there's my chin. And that's the left side. I have another one of the right profile, which is actually more thick up here than my left side. And it's not exactly a close-up, but it does show you what happens. I get a lot of bumps. A lot of hair bumps. And I try not to shave it often just for that reason. And if you notice, it goes up my chin. It goes like up on my chin right here. And up here. I do have a few, like further, like a few spare hairs, like up in here. I hope to God I don't get the full blown beard. I will freak out. Seriously. The next one is the worst ever. It's like right under the chin. I do switch between tweezing and waxing. I try not to wax that much because my skin is so sensitive, and my hair grows in all different ways that it takes a long time to actually get it all off. And by the time they're done, it's like I'm swollen and it's just awful. So this is actually right under my chin, which is the most dense part, and it looks very red and irritated because there's like all this hair growing in at the same time. So I hope you can see that. That's what my chin looks like underneath. That is a lot of hair, people. And look how long some of those are. That's my chin. Yeah. Ew, right? And the last one is of my forearms. Right here. Wait. There we go. My forearms. I'm not going to show my stomach. Not that brave yet. But my forearms pretty much look like that. Instead of being nude, they have hair on them like a freaking man. So I can imagine that when my husband married me, he didn't expect to be marrying a man. That's what I tell people. Because I actually have more hair than he does in some places. My hair growth has actually increased because of the extra 100 pounds or so. It will not slow down. I will tweeze or wax and then like poof, it's back in a week. Oh, it's so frustrating. But I do have the hair growth, my sideburns, under my neck right here. I got the stash going now too, and it comes out on my sides right here. I also have hair growth, if I can show you without being, yeah. It's also like in my chest right here, across my chest. I have hair growth around my my breast, actually, around my nipples. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not being gross. I'm being accurate. That's where it's at. And as I said, my happy trail has actually spread to my whole tummy. My legs are extremely hairy. It takes me a while to shave my legs. I know when I was a teenager, I could like shave in like 15 minutes and I'm done. And now it takes like an hour and a half because it's just so thick. It keeps on clogging up the razors. I also have hair on the lower part of my back. It's starting to grow there. And I also have hair right along my arms, right here. Like all this is like hair coming in. And I actually have hair coming more up my arm. And cat scratch. But there's actually hair starting to grow right here. And hair starting to come in right here too. If you can see where I'm pointing. So it's kind of like it's starting to wrap around the whole arm, come up here, come around the back, and then it starts back up here. So if I could just find a wicked ass tattoo to cover up my forearm and cover up the wraparound and go all the way around, I would have no problems because no one would notice the hair, right? But I don't want to get tattoos right here. That, ouch. So anyways, I think that's it for right now. It's about as much as I can take. So yeah, I will definitely do some more videos concerning the medical aspects, the way that it actually affects your body, from what I know. And again, I will be sharing my surgery pictures that I had, which are they're not for the weak stomach person. So I will mention that in my next video. I will have to put like a warning sign or something like, do not watch if you're sick to your stomach. Because the first time I saw them, it took me a while to figure out what they were. But when you actually watch it for a little while, you're like, oh my god. And it is seriously disgusting. So, that was done about, I say 4 years ago. Like a year after I found out. So, so again, I'm struggling with the weight. Struggling to keep my periods. The good thing about the hormones is that your breasts grow every month, just a little bit. I think my husband knows that part. Besides that, it is a real pain in the tush. Especially with the extra testosterone and the anxiety that I have, and the depression, and the bipolar. It all kind of meshes together. And if your hormones are not level or correct, it's going to affect the rest of your moods, the rest of your problems that you have, which affects every psychiatric problem I have. So, I think God just said, let's just give her this, and this, and let's see what happens when she gets older. Not bashing God. I'm just saying, you know, can I just get one break? Just one. I would appreciate it. So, anyways, I think that's enough for now. As I said, this is a video about PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which means many cysts on your ovaries. There's no cure. There are pills to take that are not actually for PCOS. They're mainly for diabetics, but it actually helps to keep down the testosterone levels and your insulin levels, so it doesn't actually lead to full-blown diabetes or anything like that, which is a big part of PCOS. So with that being said, I'm not going to say nothing else. I will save the rest for the next video, because I do have a little bit more research to do. I did find some conflicts. There are some medical studies in the US, and there's also some in Europe, and they do kind of conflict with each other. So I'm not sure if I just want to stick with the ones from US, or the States, the US, or if I want to actually even talk about the ones in Europe, because they're a little bit different than the results in the United States. So I will definitely make a decision, and most likely I might do both sides just to give you 2 points of views, because I'm pretty sure that not everybody who watches this is just in the United States. So I thought it might be helpful to actually give the whole perspective type thing. And that'll be next time, so hopefully it's not going to be that long. So I need to eat my dinner, which is right over here. And I thank you for watching. Comment, I love them. Keep them coming. You guys are so supportive. I appreciate it. Except for that one guy that keeps talking about my breast. I did block you, but for some reason it keeps changing your screen name or something. So please stop talking to me. Besides that, everybody else, I love your comments, your views, your likes. You're awesome. So thank you very much, and I hope this is somewhat helpful. Especially if you have it, it can be passed on to your children. I have it. My sis has it. My mom has it, even though she denies it. Because she went through menopause when she was like 32. I'm like, Mom, you pretty much have it. My birth mom. And it's basically hereditary. It's not like it skips a generation. It's there. So, yeah. Anyway, so with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy your day, your night, your evening, or whatever you're doing, enjoying your dinner like I'm about to enjoy mine. So, I hope this video was somewhat informative, a little bit for the first signs as a teenager, especially for the moms out there who might see these signs but don't know what they are. Hopefully it was helpful, and I will stick a whole bunch of tags in there with like all the stuff I described, so hopefully it does help people out there. Okay, so have a great day. Bye.